So when it comes to depression, I've had my fair share of experience in that field. Sometimes I've experienced such horrible depression I was hospitalized for it, which is something that not a lot of everyday people can actually say. I mean, not a lot of people have been in psychiatric hospitals or mental hospitals, but the number is steadily growing higher. And I'm creating this video to show what some of the early warning signs of depression can be, because for me, having experienced so much depression inside my life, I learned to notice the things in my life that seem off that can lead to a depressive episode. I talk to my doctors about this, and they say, oh, certain aspects of your life, like lack of sleep, that can be an early warning sign. And of course, all these warning signs that I'm going to be talking about aren't 100% always going to lead to depression. They can, sometimes when someone says they're tired, they legitimately mean they're tired, you know? Just because somebody has these things doesn't necessarily mean they are depressed or will become depressed. It's all very different for each person, and of course there's context. So don't forget any of that when I go into these little points that I have. Sudden introvertness, introversion, I don't know. But the sudden feeling that you want to isolate yourself and be alone. I see that in myself, especially whenever I go into a depressive episode. I get very, very introverted. I'll sit in my room for hours on end. I won't leave, I won't eat, I won't sleep. I'll just be sitting in bed looking at my phone for hours on end, not wanting to leave the house, not wanting to open my window, not wanting to talk to people. And granted, people don't actually come and talk to me, so my social life is very limited. I don't know where I was going with that, but essentially what I do is I close myself off to the world. Think about it like a closed circle. You are in a circle, there's no leaving, there's no entering, and I think that's a literary term, actually. I'm not sure. I just picked up on that the other day. But the want to be alone is very strong when it comes to depression, because you don't have the energy. Sometimes you legitimately do not have the energy to go out and talk to people. That's another thing. Lack of energy and lack of motivation. I find that when I'm going into a depressive episode, I'll get intense feelings of lack of energy. That's a big reason why I lie in this bed and just go on my phone. It's because I don't have the energy to do anything else. I don't have the energy to eat, to stand, to even take care of hygiene, like brushing my teeth and taking a shower. You just want to be alone. You just want to be alone, and sometimes that can be dangerous because it's led to dangerous things in the past. You don't want to leave a depressed person alone, but you also don't want to be with them 24/7, you know? Sometimes they want you to be there, and if they do, you can be there for them. But there is a certain amount of privacy that depressed people would like to have, and people in general would like to have. You know, you don't want somebody breathing down your neck 24/7, but at the same time, you don't want to be alone. So you're just somebody checking. If you are somebody who is trying to be there for someone depressed, just check in every now and then, maybe once every 30 minutes. That's something that the doctors in the psychiatric hospital did. They check in on us every 30 minutes, and every hour we'd have group therapy. But of course, you can't have group therapy at home, especially with COVID and all that. But regardless, like I said before, lack of energy. Lethargicness. Is that even a word? Lethargy. Lethargy is a big one. Also with the mixture of low motivation. Some people, when they're forced to leave the house, when they're forced to interact with people, they use the term "I'm tired," which of course can sometimes legitimately mean they're tired. And of course there is validity to the saying "I am tired," because sometimes the lethargicness, sometimes the lack of motivation and energy literally means that they are tired no matter how much sleep they get. But when you hear somebody constantly saying, "Oh, I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm tired," that can lead to warning signs. That can lead to hinting towards depression, because sometimes the overwhelming stress and anxiety that comes with leaving the house, especially when you're going through an introverted depressive episode, can be a bit intense. Short responses is another one, something that stands out for me, especially with the "I'm tired," because ever since I was a little kid, when I was going through depression, when I was going through psychosis, whenever people would look at me, especially my teachers. I remember my 7th grade teacher, he would often check in on me. He's like, "Are you okay? You seem like you're in a completely different place." And I'd just be like, "Yeah, I'm tired." strange time in my life. Very strange time in my life. And finally, I don't know what I wrote down on here. Apatheticness. I talked about this already. I don't know why I wrote it down a third time. But regardless, when somebody is going through a depressive episode, the one thing that you can do is be there for them. Maybe just, because sometimes just being there for them is enough. Sometimes just being close to them is enough. You know, if somebody's staying in the room all day, bring them downstairs, bring them onto the couch and chill with them on the couch, watch some TV with them, you know? Do some distraction techniques, like listen to music or read a book together or talk about something that they find passionate about. You know, it's always about keeping your mind moving. That is what I learned in the DBT group therapy we would have literally every day in my third stay in a mental hospital, and actually every day in my stay in a mental hospital. Dialectical behavioral therapy. If you want to know more about it, you can research it, but it essentially covers how you can cope with certain stressors and how you can be there for people who are dealing with those stressors. So if you want my advice, we'll look out for these warning signs, and if somebody's exhibiting these warning signs, reach out a hand to them, tell them, hey, I'm here. Practice some coping skills together. I know that can help. Listening to music, watching TV, watching YouTube, writing a book, drawing, all of that's very important. So if you're in an emergency, I have emergency links down below, and if you want to talk to me, my social media and whatever is down there too, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ohui ho, malamo pono.